Hey there! Welcome to Old Roommates. Today on the show, we revisit 1939's classic, The Wizard of Oz. So, follow the yellow brick road, and you guessed it, follow the yellow brick road to this episode. We're about to begin.
Welcome everyone to Old Roommates, the only podcast that revisits pop culture through a middle-aged lens. This is Christina.
And this is Brian.
And yes, we are following the yellow brick road all the way to the Wizard of Oz this week. 1939, I think this is actually outside of our realm of movies that we're supposed to revisit. We're supposed to be limited to 70s, 80s, 90s, right?
I know.
But you know what? It's a special. It's a holiday season. I mean,
yeah,
seriously. We need to tap into these classics.
And the formative films of our childhood.
Yes,
and to
absolutely.
see, like, where we hoodwinked, you know, where we just tricked into liking movies that maybe weren't so good. So this is the part of the big experiment of Old Roommates, where we revisit things through our older, wiser, perhaps, lens.
Perhaps.
Yeah.
Perhaps.
So, Christina, I am dying to know. Now, obviously, we weren't around in 1939. Or at least...
Or wasn't I?
I was like, or nothing the courts could ever prove. We bring down that... What do they call them? The city... No, with all the...
The Emerald City?
No, you know when, like, in movies they're like, he has no birth certificate. There's a big fire down at the City Hall.
Oh, the City Hall, yeah.
Which is so common.
Oh my God.
All right, so
Seriously, right?
But meaning though, I want to know how we're going to start the show is like your relationship as a child towards the Wizard of Oz.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think I'm probably not alone in that this was one of those events that happened. I feel like it was on TV once a year.
Mm-hmm.
I would look forward to it. My family would look forward to it. We'd be sitting in the living room, kind of like those Christmas specials.
Mm-hmm.
And we'd just be sitting in the living room, like we're waiting for it to happen. And I loved this movie. I loved the songs. I feel like I sang Somewhere Over the Rainbow. I think I still do. Throughout the year, it's just one of those songs that's always in my mind. It's just a beautiful song. And I feel like over the years as a child, I would like reenact this play with my friends. It was just a huge, huge part of my childhood.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know of another movie that had the same impact. That was just a fun fantasy musical, just a fun movie. But I will tell you, here's a revelation for you. I was way, way too old when I discovered that it was just a dream. I was way too old for that. I truly thought for many, many years that she really did somehow travel to this other land and that the people that she met just kind of looked like the, Huck and...
Yeah.
all those guys.
Yeah.
I just feel like I was just way too old before I realized that.
What do you mean a dream?
Uh-oh.
But then how would she have gotten back?
Because she clicked her heels together and she miraculously ended up in her bed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I really felt like that. I remember kind of realizing it and thinking, oh, I should have realized that sooner.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was kind of an interesting revelation.
Christine, I think you can believe what you want to believe.
Thank you, Brian.
Like, I'm going to be honest, like, I think it's like...
Wow. No, the holiday season is supposed to bring more cheer.
I'm giving you permission to believe your little theories.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So, my relationship with the Wizard of Oz is this, if memory serves, was always shown on the Wednesday before Thanksgiving.
Oh, probably.
And it was such a thing. It was event television. And it's funny to think back because I think and I could be wrong, but with commercials, I think the sucker's like 3 hours long. Like,
yeah, with commercials.
With commercials. And I don't know if there's, I mean, they started it at 7, so it ended earlier. Was it like a family thing? Probably. But I loved The Wizard of Oz. And when I was young, I was in a play. I played the wizard.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah. I'm not one to brag, but I was the titular character.
Watch your
in
mouth.
The Wizard of Oz at a young age. Was a lot of responsibility.
Yeah.
But I love The Wizard of Oz. I love the songs, and yeah, I don't even know. I just love it. How can you not like The Wizard of Oz?
I know.
I'm trying to think if there's anything I didn't like. I think I wasn't crazy about the trees, the mean trees. They really scared me when I was little.
They were pretty scary.
Yeah.
I know my sister Jackie still to this day refuses to watch The Wizard of Oz because the monkeys freaked her out.
Oh wow.
Yeah, she still talks, but she's like, I would never. She's like, she's older than me, and she's like, I would never let my kids watch that movie. That was horrifying.
Wow.
Yeah, so I don't know. I mean, I think it would be interesting for her to revisit it at this day and age because they're creepy and weird looking, but I didn't think they were terrifying. I mean, they were scary.
No, I thought I like the flying monkeys. I thought they were cool.
They're just kind of weird looking.
So now, all the love in the world, we
Yeah.
jump into now. Christina, when did you rewatch this?
I rewatched it a couple of weeks ago. And I watched it with Emily, my daughter.
Oh.
So I thought that would be a fun movie to watch together. It was like a Saturday afternoon or something.
Had you
like
seen
that.
it before?
Yeah, but I mean, it had been a long time
Yeah.
for her even. But you know what was really funny about this movie? I rented it from the library and I started... Actually, so I had rented it a while ago.
Yeah.
Because I try to rent it like as soon as possible because I have this fear that I'm not going to get the movie in time to watch it.
Yes.
So I rent it like kind of way early. And between then and when I watched it, I had cleaned out this my area of movies, and I had a copy. I was shocked. Like, why do I have a copy of this movie? It was, I don't remember getting it. I don't know. Maybe somebody gave it to me at some point. So anyway, but it worked out because I started watching the movie and I started skipping.
Ooh.
And I was like, what? I was like so mad. So I had a brand new copy to put in. So it all worked out.
Wow.
Everything was good.
So wow, that's almost ironic.
Right?
Because think about The Wizard of Oz. You had it all along. You would have asked The Wizard of Oz for a new copy of The Wizard of Oz.
For a new copy.
Yeah, and then you'd be
I
like,
had
but
it all
Christina,
along.
you had it all along.
I just had to go through the process of being frustrated.
But you know what?
To learn,
Listen, if the Good Witch had told you, you wouldn't have believed her. Right? So
So I watched
so
it a
your
couple
what was
weeks.
your
I watched it with
feeling?
Emily.
Yeah.
So one of the reasons why I wanted to watch it with Emily is because we had seen Wicked not too long ago in the spring, and obviously Wicked is about the story of the Wicked Witch of the West.
Right.
So it was just an interesting thing. I'm like, you want to watch it? Like, I guess, I mean, I put it on. I was super excited to see it. A lot of the old feelings came back. You know, when all the credits come up at the beginning, it's very theatrical. The music. So right away, I was hooked. I was very excited, and I was getting annoyed at Emily because she had her phone, and I'm like, put the phone down. I'm like, you have to see this. Like, it's just like every bit of it is something to watch, and maybe it's because I've seen it so many times.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I just still feel like I just want to watch every part of it. What were your initial thoughts when you watched it?
Oh God! I mean, yeah, like you're saying, the entire cast is on one title card.
Isn't that crazy?
Judy Garland's name is obviously first.
Yes.
But I mean, the whole cast was in that one main title card, kind of like Woody Allen movies. But I'm like, oh wow, I'm like, because she's such the thing. Like Judy Garland is like the major component of this movie.
I mean, is she in every scene?
Probably.
She might be
possibly.
in every scene except for maybe when they were trying to get into the castle.
Oh, right.
So that might be the only scene she's not in.
But I also thought the little thing about being young in heart. So
yes.
Young in heart, and so yeah, I mean, I think this movie really set out to do something very special, and And I think that's why it's endured for so long.
Yes.
My first note, though, is that Dorothy is a mess. She is causing so much trouble.
She has, yeah.
Yapping, I wrote the word yapping.
Yeah.
Yapping away, not even helping Annie M and Uncle Henry.
No, she's not, which I thought was very surprising for someone who lives on the farm.
Right? They're running around. She's no, what was the girl's name from Charlotte's Web?
Oh, what's her face? Yeah.
Fern. She's no Fern.
Fern.
God, Fern would do everything. But it's like, I mean, everything this girl does is she's just causing trouble. Annie M and Uncle Henry are trying to take all those eggs, move them. Clearly,
they're trying to count them.
A storm is a coming, and then she's like, but Annie M, Toto, and da da da, and it's like, it's like you're not reading the room. Like help your aunt and uncle.
Yes.
But no. And then when she finally pulls herself together, she decides it's a great time to balance on the pig pen.
That scene always gave me anxiety.
Yeah.
Like, why? First of all, you're not even wearing the right stuff to do that. Like, if you're gonna do that sort of thing, you put some jeans on, overalls, yeah. some boots. You don't wear these little like patent leather shoes in a skirt. Why would you ever do that? It's so dangerous. Mm-hmm. Not good. And I agree with you about her being a complete, like, just very selfish. Mm-hmm. Like, she came across as very selfish to me. Just running in, not paying attention to anybody, what they're doing. Mm-hmm. Not, even the workers on the farm are trying to get things done. She's like, da-da-da-da-da-da-da, and she falls into the pig pen. Yeah. Like, you don't need to make more work. And middle-aged Glenn's here. She's talking about her dog running in. She was saying, Mrs. Gulch was, upset with her dog. I'm like, why isn't this dog on a leash?
1,000%.
Like, why are you, like, and she said it happened multiple times.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, that's not okay.
Right.
For you to be doing that to somebody else's property. Like, I've never in my life took Miss Gulch's side.
Right.
But I was taking her side when I was watching it. I'm like, she has every right to be upset.
It keeps happening.
Yeah.
Is what we learn.
It keeps happening. This is not a first-time offense.
Walk in the other direction, Dorothy.
Put a leash on the dog. Hold the dog.
Right.
Whatever. Put her in your basket or whatever. But you know it's going to happen. This dog is a menace. Poor Toto.
But he also bit. Right. Who did he bite? Gulch, or did he bite Gulch's dog? Or cat? No, she has a cat.
Cat?
But
no, she bit Miss Gulch, I think.
Yeah, because what Annie M says, I bite you myself.
Right, yeah. right.
But Annie M is a bit of a tyrant because, as I wrote, if it wasn't for the Crullers, she'd be a bitch.
Yes.
Like when she's really pushing the guys, and she's like,
yes.
He's like, they're gonna make a statue in my honor. She's like, well, don't start posing for it now.
I felt for her. They're trying to get ready for the storm. Like, there's no gabbing allowed. Like, they're paid help. You do your job.
Wow.
Well, I mean, unless they were slaves. Do you think they're slaves?
Jesus, Christina.
No, they're doing a job. They're getting paid for it. And I thought, yes, I loved when she got the Crullers for them. That was really, really sweet. I like that. It gave her that, idea. Okay, yeah, she's actually kind of a nice person. Mm-hmm. She just wants things to get done. I can relate to that.
Well, the fact...
Her daughter sure as hell isn't helping. I mean, her niece.
Well, so it was interesting because when Elmira Gulch shows, like, she went to the court or the police or whoever and got a permission to take Toto, to have Toto put down, destroyed.
Well, so... It wasn't necessarily to have him destroyed, but she said, I'll leave the courts up to that.
Oh. Okay.
Right? So it could have been that he was just being taken away or destroyed. She wanted him destroyed.
Yeah.
But she said she was going to, But that was pretty bold. My God.
Yeah. Well, it
keeps a leash.
It keeps happening.
I know. Well, maybe maybe Dorothy should be destroyed.
Maybe it's two things. Maybe it's two things. Maybe Miss Gulch improves her fence. Dorothy gets a leash. Like, there has to be some common ground here.
Well, I just don't think destroying a dog is the answer.
No, I didn't say it was.
No, I know. I'm agreeing with you.
My God.
My God.
So then...
But it was so sad when they took the dog, wasn't it? I felt so... Oh, my God.
That's some childhood trauma.
Very PTSD stuff going
Yep.
on there, yes. I was just like, oh, my God.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. And then she just... Oh, my God. She just... Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, so upset. And even Auntie Em and Uncle... Henry. Even they, like, felt bad. And... it was just a bad scene. You really hate Miss Gulch. I hated her probably more than the Wicked Witch when I was a kid.
I think I agree with you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then the song hits, Somewhere Over the Rainbow.
Mm-hmm.
Gorgeous vocals.
So...
And so sad. I don't know if it's because that's a middle-aged lens. The song hit me as sad.
Yeah. I don't think it hit me quite the same way, but it is a gorgeous song, and she has such a beautiful voice, and just even the way it's shot is beautiful. Mm-hmm. I agree. I really, really enjoy that song, and I love that song. Like I said, I sing it. I still sing it. I love it.
Do you know how old she was in this filming this movie?
I looked it up. I thought she was 14. I said to Emily she was 14.
Yes.
And I don't know, did you think that too?
1,000%. It's always been in my head that she was 14
me too.
when
I
she
don't know
made
why.
this. She's 17.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess she started at 16, but...
Yes, that's right. Let's see.
But I will say, so what did you think about the black and white? Did that strike you as anything?
Well, it's not really black and white.
No, it's not.
It's like sepia, like toned. Yeah.
Yes, I thought it was interesting because this has always been billed as the first movie that's been in color or whatever, the first colorized movie, which I just realized it, when I was watching it, that it is not the first movie that was made in color.
Yeah.
The first one was called A Visit to the Seaside in 1908, according to Google.com. But it was the first one to sort of mix the two. Yeah. So, but I think that it was really interesting. I never noticed this as a child, but it definitely felt like it was a colored movie that this part was made to look black and white.
Oh.
As opposed to some
truly black and white.
As opposed to truly black and white. Because at some points, and maybe it was my eyes playing tricks on me, but some points I could see almost like a blue tint to her dress. And I could see a little bit of a pink tint here and there. It was really interesting to me to be able to see that. I'm like, whoa, is it my mind playing tricks on me? But it definitely wasn't a true black and white, for sure. It was definitely more like a sepia was used.
Yeah. I thought it was just beautiful.
It was.
Yeah. And so I watched this on HBO Max. Mm-hmm. And crystal clear, I'm assuming it's been digitally remastered a bunch of times, but it was just, the picture quality is so clear. Mm-hmm. It's gorgeous, beautiful. I did laugh when Toto runs away, and then Dorothy, he jumps out of the bike, comes back to Dorothy. They decide to go hide or run away.
Run away. I would do the same thing as a child, I think, if I thought my
to
dog
save your
was
dog.
going to get destroyed.
Yeah. But so they find this little caravan man, and Toto is not a well-behaved dog.
He is not.
He just starts instantly.
Oh my gosh, it's so true.
Instantly eating that man's hot dog.
But I will say, I think the dog as an actor was excellent.
Yes.
Excellent dog acting.
The fact that he just stood with the four of them walking.
He was great. I watched him. I was almost fascinated with him this time around, just watching him. What a well acted. He was a really good actor. That dog. But yes, as a character, Toto, I agree with you.
He's a punk.
Total punk.
Doesn't listen to Dorothy at all.
No.
He also ruined, I'm jumping a lot, he ruined her chance in the balloon.
Oh, yes.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
So,
He's
anyway.
really the real villain in this movie is Toto.
He does not listen at all. So, but Dorothy's hilarious because he's eating this man's food. Mm-hmm. Truly. And Dorothy says, Toto, that's not polite. We haven't been asked yet.
I remember that as a child, hearing her say that and thinking, that's presumptuous.
Yeah. this guy, I mean, he has a hot dog on a stick.
Yeah.
Like, you think he's just gonna, like, start, like, a cookout
What do you think?
because you showed up?
You just show up, you
You're
gotta hand out hot dogs to everyone?
Yeah.
He's cooking a hot dog on a stick. He clearly does not have a lot of money. He makes his money by telling fortunes. And bad fortunes.
My very next note is, God, put Toto on a damn leash. He just keeps screwing things up.
Causing trouble over and over again. He really should be destroyed. No!
God.
I'm just kidding. I love Toto.
Well, if it's any consolation, I'm sure he's dead by now. Long dead.
Oh, yeah. God.
I wrote amazing effects. I really liked with the storm. Oh, my God.
Still just as terrifying.
The door, she opens the door and the door goes flying off the hinges.
Part. I always love that part.
It's so cool.
But
it's still cool.
Seeing that twister come.
Yeah.
I remember that so much, that feeling as a child, that dread. Like, holy crap, that is scary.
Yeah.
That was adult, adult effects.
Yeah.
For a child
Children's
to be watching,
movie.
like, you felt like, oh my God, that is a scary, scary thing. Because before that, a tornado was just, a pencil drawing of loopsy, 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 loopsy until it's like little. And then you actually see like a real twister and you're like, whoa, that's pretty crazy.
And I loved how like the cast, like Dorothy's just running and they're just like throwing stuff at her. They're throwing tumbleweeds at her. How about the tree branch? There's like a tree branch just like rips out of the ground and hits her. I'm like, holy shit, this girl's, she's only 16.
Yeah.
You could be a little more careful.
Oh my
There's no stunt double to be found. That's really her running.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I'm sure. Well, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not surprised.
But
yeah, it's very, very scary. Very, just terrifying.
Yeah.
Just terrifying. Great
and it's
effects.
super scary in the tornado when you see Gulch, and then she turns into the witch, and that's something I remember being a little kid.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Christina, after the first time I saw it when I was little, when I knew that would always be showing up.
Yeah.
I would look away from the screen.
Me too.
Yeah. I don't like when she bursts into the witch.
Oh, it was so scary. Me too, Brian.
Yeah.
Oh my God. That was so scary. Like as soon as she showed up on the bike, you're like, oh my God. And I would cover my eyes. And it took forever. It took forever for her to turn into it, right?
Yeah.
Oh my God. I did the same exact thing. Terrifying.
Because it tricks you. It's like, oh, there's a cow. He's mooing. Oh, there's people on the rowboat and they're waving. Like, they seem fine. She waves back. And then suddenly.
And that's the first time you see that witch.
Yeah.
And it is so scary.
Arguably, the witch that she, killed at the house. Perhaps.
So, what's funny about that...
because it landed on her.
It landed on, yeah. When I was a kid... I thought the house, and again, I was confused about the dream part. I thought the house landed on Miss Gulch. I thought she was the Wicked Witch of the East.
Got it. Oh, interesting.
Yeah. I always believed
because the window busts open, hits Dorothy in the head, and it really looks like it does.
Yes. I didn't like that part either. That was always scary to me, too, when she got hit in the head with the window.
Yeah. And she's knocked out, and then thus begins the rest of the movie. Another presumptuous quote, and I'm diving right in. Oh, they're laughing because I am a witch. Only bad witches are ugly. I'm like, you don't say, Glinda. If I could have an ounce of your ego and self-confidence.
I remember that clearly too. Like, she is so conceited.
She's
like,
so...
I never in a million
Glinda
years would have called myself beautiful. Not until I was 30. But
Glinda is so
ugly,
conceited and unhelpful. She has
she is the cause of all these
everything.
Problems.
She set Dorothy up to be killed.
Oh my God! And she knew it all along. She, excuse me. She, without Dorothy's consent, steals shoes and puts them on Dorothy's feet, and she's not able to take them off until she's dead. And she's like, Stay tight in those.
There they are. And
Like,
there
what the hell is her hidden agenda?
There
She
they
has
are, and
some
there
sort of
you'll-
hidden agenda there.
Stay. Hilarious when she says, I'm afraid you've made a rather bad enemy of the Wicked Witch.
I wrote that down.
Did she, Glinda?
I wrote, you did this.
I'm like, you did. Dorothy didn't do shit.
I wrote that same quote. I'm afraid you made rather a bad enemy of that Wicked Witch of the West.
Like, did she,
my
Glinda?
God. And I wrote, why would Glinda do this to Dorothy? So rude.
I wrote, Glinda is awful.
Yes.
Dorothy is scared shitless. She's like, but what happens if Glinda cuts her off, just follow the yellow brick road. I'm like, it's not helpful.
Can you please just answer the question?
What if I die? Just follow the yellow brick road.
Just follow the yellow brick road.
So then,
And
but I want to backtrack.
Fly away and let you be all on your own.
I do think Glinda at times looks high as a kite. She looks stoned.
Oh, yeah,
That's
I can
middle-aged
totally see
lens.
that, yeah.
But also the Munchkin song. Here's a little nugget, a sampling. We thank you very sweetly for doing it so neatly. You've killed her so completely that we thank you very sweetly. So first of all, sweetly and sweetly is a kind of a cheap rhyme.
Yeah.
But you've killed her so completely.
Yeah. Congratulations.
Great family film.
Seriously. I mean,
they were
she's
cheering
still a person.
cheering for her death. Like, just because she's mean, you're all alive. You have this charming little village. It couldn't have been that scary for you.
Seriously, what did the Wicked Witch do, really?
You have a lollipop
And-
guild. Maybe you
and-
need some fear in your life.
Let's remember that this is the Wicked Witch of the East that was killed, and the Wicked Witch of the West is far worse than the other one. So, I mean...
So was she even that bad?
Was she that bad?
Yeah.
I don't even understand. I don't understand it. I mean...
They have, like, all these, like, the lollipop guild.
And...
The dancing...
Hold up! I just thought of something else. Yes,
Oh,
and
okay.
I agree with all that. Let's talk about that in a second. She says to Wicked Witch of the West, Glinda says, your magic doesn't work here. She
Your
said,
powers
you have no power here.
Yeah.
You know, be off before a house falls on you.
Yeah.
So, why are the Munchkins scared of her?
Right.
She has no power there.
That's what I'm saying. You have all these fucking lollipop guilds and all these groups of Munchkins. Like, where's the safety and security panel of Munchkins? Where's the how to outsmart a witch guild?
Yeah,
Like,
it's
they're not
weird.
thinking. Like, they're just asking. I mean,
But
like,
because she didn't have any power, though. She didn't have any power. She couldn't have hurt them.
and also too, the Munchkins can't leave Munchkin Land.
They
So
could
they-
follow the yellow brick road.
They could have
They
helped
know
her.
exactly how to get to the
There's
Emerald City.
like 170 of them. They couldn't
Yeah,
have
they
been
could
like
take her.
like those lollipop kids or whatever guild. They looked kind of tough, and like they could have they could have walked with Dorothy to
Yeah.
help her. They
Somebody
don't care.
could have helped. Nobody helped.
No. So I watched this viral little video on social, and it said like East Coast, West Coast, or something like that, and it was like, East Coast are rude but kind. I'm gonna get it wrong. But like West Coast, like California, is like kind but rude. Meaning like in California, it's very like, oh my God, I love you. Can you help me? Oh, sorry, I can't. Whereas East Coast, or say Boston, like, you know, where we are, but it's like, you know, it's like people are super rude, but they end up helping you.
Yeah.
Right?
Like
the Munchkins are kind of California. Like, they're kind of LA in that sense of like, yay, Dorothy, we love you. You're great. You're amazing. It's like, oh, great. Can you help me? No.
And yeah. And Glinda is California, where she pretends to be nice.
That's my
But
point.
she's rude. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
California. Yeah.
Although I would say I love LA. I've been there many times.
I know,
And
I
I
love
love LA.
California.
Yeah, I love California. But no, but it was just funny because I just watched this little
That is
clip
really,
on
really funny.
social like a few days ago, and it reminded me of the Munchkin Land, where it's like they actually are super nice, but they don't really do anything for her.
No.
And Glinda's the worst. Glinda is the worst.
Yeah, Glinda is the worst. She really is. I will say, I wanted to bring this up too. Have you ever watched this with the Dark Side of the Moon? Did you ever hear about this?
No, you know what you're talking about, but no.
Pink Floyd has Dark Side of the Moon, and it's supposed to, and I've done this before,
Oh.
it's kind of cool.
Okay.
I think it's better if you're in an altered state of mind.
Sure.
No comment on that part. But
It's legal.
yeah, no. But it is pretty cool if you guys ever want to do this. There's instructions everywhere on how to do it. But it is pretty cool. You have to turn down the volume of The Wizard of Oz, and it's the whole like album of Dark Side of the Moon. You started at the beginning. They say you did it right if a certain thing happens when the lion roars at the beginning of the movie. And it's so satisfying. Just that one part is so satisfying. But anyway, I just wanted to bring that up, that you could do that. That's pretty kind of fun. So
yeah, so then Dorothy
she's
begins. She's off to see the wizard, the wonderful Wizard of Oz.
If ever there was
We're high right now. So let's see. The Scarecrow. One thing, and I felt it as a little kid. And then growing up, and I have a greater and greater appreciation for the makeup and the costume of the Scarecrow.
Yes.
You don't know where the face ends and the bag begins.
It's fantastic.
It's really, really impressive.
It is really well done, especially for back then. Think about that. 1939.
Yeah.
Really. However, there were a lot of controversies surrounding the makeup on The Wizard of Oz. Originally,
the Tin Man
was supposed to be
Buddy Epson.
Buddy Epson, thank you. And he ended up getting like poisoned.
Allergic reaction.
Yeah, it was like a poisonish thing. Yeah. And I think something similar happened to the Wicked Witch, the green makeup.
No, she got burned. So when she's in Munchkinland, Margaret Hamilton, there's a burst of fire when she disappears.
Yes.
The trapdoor didn't open fast enough. And she got burns on her face and on her hands. And she was like, I think for like 6 weeks, I think she was.
Can you imagine? No safety protocols at all back then.
Well, we'll get to that because there's stuff about poor Judy Garland.
I know.
Speaking of safety protocols.
No, I just looked up the green makeup. So Margaret Hamilton, who played the Wicked Witch, was coated in green makeup that was copper-based. Oh. Which is incredibly toxic. So once her makeup was applied, she couldn't eat and had to subsist on a liquid diet and drink from a straw. Ooh. So, I mean, the makeup was great to look at. Yeah. But not the safest choice.
And she's outstanding. We didn't even mention her. We talked about Glinda a lot.
Oh my God. She was amazing. She's still
terrifying.
On Patreon, we had written about our favorite villains. Mm-hmm. On one of it was like a couple of years ago. I mean, it was a while ago.
Oh my God. Okay.
It was one of our horror movie. We had written up who our favorite villains are.
Oh my God. And
Wicked Witch of the West was mine. Because I just felt like she was very...
I remember mine.
Classic, scary. Yeah.
In a way, I would imagine a lot of little kids were taught like what a villain is. What fear is. Because it's like, I mean, sometimes I feel like in Disney movies, they always had a villain. But like... a live action villain. Yeah, and I don't know. I have to think about the villains because the villains, I feel like it was something different about her. Mm-hmm. Like she really, not for nothing.
She was sarcastic. Yeah. She was like downright mean. She was definitely like obviously more human. Yeah. And I mean, she would make fun. She was like a bully. Yeah. So I think it hit a little more close to home because bullying is really what kind of gets you. You know, it's like that self-esteem and all that. And she was pretty much like a bully. I mean, she threatened the scarecrow with like a lighted match. Yeah. Yeah. And
then she has a fireball in her hand and throws a fireball.
Yes, she threw a fireball. You're right. You're right. But and she's like, "I'll get you, my pretty." And like, and she was making fun of him. Remember when we'll get to this later, I'm sure, but when she's looking in, she's saying, "Oh, Auntie M, I'm here." She's like, "Auntie M, goddamn,
Yeah.
like so.
It's so brutal.
Mean.
So brutal.
Oh my God, making fun of her
Yeah.
for being afraid.
I never understood why she gave so much sand in the hourglass. I know it's an hour.
I know. It's always
but like give her
this
fucking.
is how much
you know what?
time you have to live.
Yeah, give her like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
I mean,
How about
why
just
do
kill
you
her
want
right
her?
then?
Right,
Just
kill her.
What do you need, your henchman? And I love that, like when they're trying to break down the door, and she's in there, and she's looking, and she's waiting, she's watching it go.
Yeah.
Like it's almost like she thinks she's going to like just
Evaporate
or combust.
Yeah.
At the very last.
But what is
second
supposed to
scene.
happen?
I don't know. I mean, it wasn't like she was sitting there waiting for it to drain out so she could like shoot her. Like
Right. It's kind of weird.
It was kind of weird.
So my middle-aged ones now, the trees are so cool.
The trees are so
the
cool.
costume, the movements.
Yeah.
And I will also that for the Scarecrow, the physicality of that role
Oh
is
my gosh.
so good and so fun.
The dancing, he's such a good dancer.
Yes.
Just the slipping and even just like the walking and slipping, like, oh my gosh, the physical comedy on this guy.
Yeah.
He was amazing.
And the song is great if it only had a brain.
Love that song.
And the slapping of Dorothy's hand by the tree, oof, like that still gives me a little bit of a jolt.
Yes.
And I think it's because it's live action.
Yeah.
Like there's, I mean, and I remember just being a little kid being like, oh my God, the tree hit her.
The trees were scary. Well, it was a dark forest.
And then throwing apples at them. Oh my God.
But it was like, I mean, I get how scary. I remember how scary it was.
That was scary.
Very, very scary. And then I think it's funny that all of a sudden they, they're crawling around and they see like the Tin Man in the forest. But like all of a sudden the trees aren't alive anymore.
I know. This is different parts of Oz, I guess.
Yes.
When Dorothy is talking to the Tin Man and says, "We've come such a long way already," the witch off camera cackles. Christina, as a 50-year-old man, I jumped.
Oh my God.
I fucking jumped. It scared me. I had the surround sound on and I didn't remember. And she's like, "We've come such a long way already." He's like, and I was like, fucking jumped. I was like, oh. And I blame the surround sound. But like, it was scary. Because she's on the roof.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. She is a scary, scary character.
Yeah.
There's no two ways about it. What surprised me, how close all the meetings are. Like, as a kid, I felt like
a
she
sprawling
walked for
adventure.
hours and hours and hours. Just her and it was just her alone, hours and hours. And then with just her and this the Scarecrow, I feel like they were together for so much longer before they met the Tin Man. But it was literally like the meetings are so close together.
They turn a corner and there's a new
Yes.
character.
Yeah.
Completely agree. I think that is when it gets into like the commercials of it all. Like when you're a kid watching on CBS or whatever, it's like there's so many commercials that it made it think like this adventure was much longer.
Yes, for sure.
So one thing I didn't see, and this is the other controversy, is the hanging munchkin.
Okay.
Which is not true. But it's supposed to happen at the 45-minute mark. I
can show you it. If you look it up, you can look it up exactly what face it is. It's the three of them.
Right.
And they walk towards you. It's like, we're off to see you, wizard. And then they turn around.
Yeah.
And then they start walking again. And actually, what's really interesting about it is the space in which the munchkin is allegedly hanging, right? It's literally in the middle of the screen.
Oh.
So if you're watching them walk away, they're kind of at a kind of curving to the right.
Okay.
But this happens right in the middle of the screen, and it just swings back and forth. If you think it's a hanging munchkin, you're going to see a hanging munchkin. It is very, very jarring because you don't think it's going to be so obvious.
Okay.
And all of a sudden you're like, holy crap, that's like definitely a hanging munchkin.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So what have you heard for theories? I've heard of several theories.
Oh, I don't know. I just know that it was like, I don't know, like a broken light or something like hanging.
So one of the theories is there was a sandbag.
Yes, right.
That had swung. And then the official statement from the studio was it was an animal. And this is there's a controversy involved in this as well. I didn't really dig too deep into it, but that was the official statement that they had brought in live animals, like just like exotic birds kind of thing. And they wanted the forest to look more like a real forest kind of thing. Okay. But people say, like, if you watch the original, you never see any animals in the background. Mm-hmm. But then if you watch, like, a remastered version, you do see birds and stuff in there. So there's, like, controversy there, too. Oh. Yeah. So, but that was the original statement, that it was like a bird. It does not look like a bird to me when you're looking at it.
I'll have to take another look.
Yeah.
So my next note is about the snow. No.
Oh, you didn't have any notes about the lion?
Well, this is what I wrote. I wrote, Glinda and her magic. She makes it snow, and I wrote, makes you wonder how much more Glinda could have helped her.
I also have that note.
For example, with those ruby slippers, if she could click herself home, why couldn't she have clicked herself to the wizard? Right? Like, that really makes me mad. Glinda is not a good person.
She was just, I feel like she wanted to be needed more than she was actually had the power of being needed. Like, she didn't have any real power to send her home. Dorothy had the power all along. She could have just easily just said, you can click your heels together and go home.
Yeah.
But no, she wanted to hang it over her head that Glinda was the magical one that had all the answers. Like, it would have been better. It would have been better
if Toto ran off and she had to find Toto, so she couldn't just leave. And that's what made her realize. Like, I mean, it sort of happens at the end anyway.
Yes. I think I question even if Glinda was needed.
Ooh.
How do you like that?
Yeah.
Because thinking about it, like, so Dorothy opens up the door and she's here and she has all these magical little, like, not magical, but like little dwarfs around, right?
Yeah.
Or munchkins rather. And somehow, like, what if it's because she killed, like, once they declare her dead or something, all of a sudden the shoes appear on her feet.
Yep.
Instead of Glinda making her wear them. And then maybe the munchkins don't understand why she has them on her feet. And they say, follow the yellow brick road to the wizard and he'll figure it out for you.
Yeah.
Maybe that's more like way the story could have gone. Like, the mystery is why she has these shoes on her feet and why, she can't get them off.
Yeah.
And the wizard, does all this stuff, and I don't know. I just feel like maybe the Glinda wasn't really needed.
Yeah.
Is my thought.
Yeah, it's interesting.
The lion, I do have a couple notes on the lion. I felt like I never really liked the lion. Mm-hmm. Never a good character for me. Thought he was obnoxious and very unlikable. Okay. And I gotta say, my opinions have not changed.
Wow.
Yeah. I just didn't really like him. He was whiny and like...
Do you think it's because of the way he was introduced?
Could be.
Because he was introduced so, like mean?
Maybe. But, like, I think it was the crying. Honestly, I think it was like, oh my God.
What puts the ape in apricot? Courage. Put him up, put him up.
Yeah.
He's like that snagglepuss Samantha Jones.
Yes. But I will say his song is the worst song of the whole thing. And in my opinion, then and now, the lion song.
Well, which does he doesn't if I because he doesn't have
with the
king of the forest.
Yeah. That song, I was like, that was my cue to go to the bathroom.
Oh,
like,
wow.
I didn't like it then. I liked it maybe a speck better now, but not much. It was still way too long. I'm like, why does he have this long song? Maybe it was more of like a resentment. Like, I feel like the Scarecrow or the Tin Man would have been better at a long song.
Well,
that song was long.
I think it's harder to rhyme courage than it is to rhyme brain and heart.
It could have
so
been
he couldn't say if I only had the courage. right? Like they couldn't make a song of that, so a song has
He
to
did sing that. If I only had the nerve.
Oh, the nerve. Yep.
Yeah.
That's right.
So he did have that little reprise.
Yeah. Why did he have an extra song?
Exactly.
Oh,
He
interesting.
had an extra song, and I don't think it was needed. It was boring. And I guess I was a little bit resentful that he had. Maybe they felt like he didn't have enough screen time because he was the last friend to show up. But either way, I think that song was kind of ridiculous.
A positive I have is these sets are gigantic.
Yes.
Like running down roads, skipping through poppy fields, the cliff that Toto has to run down. And these are grand scale sets.
Yes.
They're amazing.
Yes.
Like, I mean, and I think they're so sort of like fairy tale wondrous that it's more obvious to me now that how much work went into these sets.
Yes.
It's incredible.
And I will say, even the backdrops, of, obviously it's like a backdrop of the whatever, everything. But they looked pretty flawless,
They
considering.
looked very dimensional.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I completely agree.
Yeah.
Like when they're looking at the Emerald City.
Yes.
It looks like a real effing place.
It's very hard to see where the set ends
and
and the backdrop starts.
I agree.
And speaking of the poppies, so basically they were drugged, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So the witch is drugging them
Yeah.
with opium.
Yes.
I just wanted to throw that out there.
But Glinda, Glinda takes her own sweet time. And, I mean, she's had... Talk about someone having the power all along. Glinda.
She has had the power of this whole entire
Glinda,
movie.
how the hell do you let them suffer that way?
She's just watching. She's clearly watching everything that happens, right?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
And, how about when Dorothy gets to the crossroads at the very beginning when she meets the Scarecrow? There's follow the Yellow Brick Road. There's 3 different ways to go, right?
Yeah.
It's like a 4-way stop sign there. Glinda couldn't have shown up and been like, go right. Like, she was no help.
Yeah. I will say, the sand. The hourglass sand, yeah. And then the poppy scene. As a kid, I remember those being epic. You mentioned the Lion song. I remember the poppy scene being like, I don't like the scene. I'm going to go get something from the fridge.
Yeah.
Because they seemed long to me. But they're minutes.
Yeah,
they're
it wasn't that long. It wasn't that long.
It's so fast.
Yes.
I always loved and still love when the 3 of them defeat the 3 guards. That is
that
so
was really
funny
fun.
and cute and really good.
What I thought was funny this time was when they get to Emerald City, they just happen to have a straw man maker on hand and a tin man polisher on hand. I'm like, how lucky is that?
Yeah.
I mean, the other 2 are fine. It was just like a hairdresser or whatever.
Yeah.
But how funny, right?
Yeah.
Here, just in case a tin man showed up.
Well, it's also funny because they don't have an appointment or anything.
Oh, no, they just plopped right in there.
Yeah.
Again, kind of rude.
Well, also, but they plop in and they get treated to the spa day.
And did they do anything for Toto? They couldn't
remember.
have given him a bath?
I don't remember.
No, they didn't.
I did say, so my notes really jump around here. So I just wrote, the death of the Wicked Witch of the West is so abrupt.
Yes.
It's almost too abrupt. Like, and I think that's why it's so jolting as a kid. It's like, it's instant. She starts melting. And I did write, why keep buckets of water around if that will...
I know. What was the bucket of water for?
It's like if you're allergic...
There was no reason. You're in the middle of a stairway in a castle, and there just happens to be a bucket of water. There's not like there was a plant around to water. Why is there a bucket of water?
It's so odd.
It is so odd.
It's
it
odd,
just happens to be.
Yeah.
I have a note here that says the witch gets the monkeys to go get Dorothy. Is there a reason why she wouldn't have done that before?
Yeah.
Why wouldn't she have just at the very beginning of the movie said the monkeys go get Dorothy, and there you go. It'd be a 15-minute movie.
True.
I will say, before we get too much further in, on Patreon, we have something really super cool and very, very special. So when Dorothy is in the castle, and she's looking at
the
hourglass and seeing Auntie M and all that, we just talked about that scene. there is a cut scene. It's not a scene. It's a recording. So it's just a recording.
Mm-hmm.
But there is actually a reprise of Somewhere Over the Rainbow. And this is a very raw recording. It's just Judy Garland singing this reprise. And it's just as piano, and it is super, super cute and cool, and I've never heard this before.
It's almost haunting because she's crying while she's singing.
Yeah, it's so good. It makes me so sad that they took that out. They should have taken the Lion song out and kept
Christina,
this
we
in.
get it. You hate the lion. But I agree. It's a really, you found it and you shared it with me.
I did.
I was like, this is beautiful. It's really nice.
It is on the Patreon site. It's patreon.com/oldroommates. Go check it out. It is really, really cool. So check it out. That's our Patreon post for this week. So anyway, speaking of the the witch being melted, what I think is really funny is they melt the witch, and then, of course, it's always a big surprise that all the guards are like, hooray, she's dead. That was always so joyful for me. I'm like, wow, this is so great, because you don't know if they're going to get in trouble for killing her.
When someone says you liquidated her.
Oh my gosh, crazy.
Oh, then the wizard says that. You liquidated her, huh?
Yeah. But so then the scarecrow says, the broom, may we have it? And the guard says, yes, you can have it, and take it with you. I'm not sure who wrote that in the script.
Yeah.
Isn't that funny? It's like, well, was I just going to have it and keep it here? I made me so... I never
That's
heard...
funny.
I never
caught that before.
I never did either.
Oh, God. So then my notes really jump towards the wizard. And he says, a heart is not judged by how much you love, but by how much you are loved by others. Yeah.
It's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful.
And then the lion, read what my medal says. Courage. Ain't it the truth? Ain't it the truth? He is gay. He's a little gay.
I liked his delivery on some of those lines.
Yeah.
I don't hate him. I really hated the song. I didn't really hate the lion.
Yeah.
It
would be tough being a gay lion. I mean, I think the lion is gay. He is a lover, not a fighter.
He did look at Toto a different way.
Oh my God. but he's just so into his appearance and always cleaning himself and his mane, and he's really not much of a street cat,
No,
he wants
God,
he wants everything nice and easy and pretty, and I do think with his voice there's some affectations to it that tend to lean towards that stereotypical, sort of gay movie character way of speaking.
Yeah, I get it. And I just want to... we haven't mentioned the Tin Man at all. I absolutely love the Tin Man also.
Yeah.
And he was a fantastic dancer.
Yes, he was. Yeah.
He was great. He rivaled the Scarecrow with the dancing.
Yeah.
And I will just say one other thing. The sound of the oil can, that sound.
Yeah.
That is such an ASMR for me.
Yeah.
I just love that sound.
Stuff comes out of that.
Oh yeah,
I didn't notice that. I know.
Oil.
I didn't notice that when I was a kid. I was like,
I know. Yeah.
They really have stuff coming out of that.
Well, you didn't notice it on the lips or anything when they did it around his lips. It was like you could see it.
No. I don't know.
I'm not very observant. Just kidding. But no, I just wanted to give props to that Tin Man because he was awesome too.
Yeah. We just seemed awfully infatuated with the Tin Man.
Well, maybe.
Let's see. We have to do it. So Toto ruins her chance to set sail on the balloon.
Yes. Oh my gosh, that damn dog.
And then here we go.
We'll say it together. You've
always had the power to go back to Kansas.
What? You've had the power all along. That's what she says.
Oh, maybe I just wrote my abbreviated version.
Wow.
Oh, yeah, because I wrote... Oh, no, but she does say... Someone says, why didn't you tell her that before? The Scarecrow, I think,
Oh, the
says that
Scarecrow
because
says
he has
that,
a
yeah,
brain
yeah.
now.
Yeah.
So he's like, then why didn't you tell her that before?
Oh, yes, yeah.
Because she wouldn't have believed me.
Give it a try.
Yeah. How about this?
Give it a
Hi,
try.
Dorothy. You may not believe me, but click your heels together because there's no place like home. I think Dorothy would have tried that.
Hey, do me a favor. Just click. You don't even say what's going to happen. Do me a favor, Dorothy. Just click your heels three times.
Dorothy,
And think,
this is
there's
going to
no
sound...
place like home. Let's just see what happens.
Dorothy, this is going to sound a little far-fetched, but listen, you can either walk for miles alone through the woods
Battling a wicked witch.
while a witch is trying to kill you, or here's something really crazy. Click your heels 3 times and say there's no place like home, and then boom, you'll be home. Where was that? What's the harder thing to believe?
Oh my gosh.
This is a bag of
really
bullshit.
something.
It is so bad.
She is really something, that Glinda.
I wrote, I think Glinda needs a heart and a brain.
Oh!
Yeah. Glinda is mean. She's mean and she's just not right.
No,
I
think she has a hidden agenda.
There's something not right about her.
Someone should have written another.
Well, how is she presented in Wicked?
Do you want to know? Are you ever going to see it?
Probably not.
Well,
all right, fine. All right, Tim. Yeah.
It's it's a different kind of story. I mean, she's not a villain at all, but it's just different. It's just different.
All right,
you guys can look it up if you really want to know. I said the ending is so sweet. Are you done? Do you have any more notes?
Oh, I know, I do. I have more notes.
Okay. Go ahead.
Oh no, you were talking.
Well, I just said, so there's no place like home.
Yeah.
And then I wrote in parentheses, but the dog is still going to have to go to the pound.
1000%.
Did you write that
Yeah.
too?
I wrote, what about Toto?
Right?
Yeah. Unless Mrs. Gulch was killed in the Twister, like you said.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
But they should have said that.
It just leaves a lot unsaid. And the fact that she didn't... It surprised me that she survived a tornado just in her bed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That was kind of surprising. But yeah, I there's still a lot of like that dog's fate is still...
Absolutely. That's the whole point of the beginning is
Mm-hmm.
Toto's fate.
Yeah.
And now it's like, yay, there's no place like home. Although the Tin Man has a great line. Now I know I have a heart. Because it's breaking.
That was a good line.
Yeah. But it was similar to what, Christina? That line about the heart.
Oh, God. You put me on the spot. I don't know. Just tell me.
E.T.
Oh,
Wasn't it similar
yes.
like that? You don't like and you don't like that
right.
line about what Elliot says where it's like
Right, because he sounds like an adult.
wow.
Should we talk about that again?
Yes, that's right, Christina. Let's give the Man of Tin
Our ET episode was how long ago?
a long time ago.
So you guys can listen to it. And you'll hear my argument about
Elliot.
little Elliot, who's like 8 years old.
Who got my vote as best performance by a child ever.
In like the second Rooney Awards.
That's right. Well, no, I think it was like, I think it was a Patreon thing. All right, so I have some other things. Yeah, so I wrote HBO Max. It is crystal clear. If you can watch on HBO Max, do that. It is gorgeous. It's funny. It's scary. The physicality, the timing, the music. Judy Garland is only 17. My big negatives.
Yeah.
The Munchkins, actually.
Wow.
As colorful as they were all about themselves. This group, that group. At one point, they're like, "We're happy now, thanks." It's all and they wrote, "Oh, by the way, can we help you with anything?" Like they never even offer. Like they're just so like, "Thanks, Dorothy. Bye now." It's like that fake. Yeah, it's very fake.
What surprised me about the Munchkins, I was expecting it. Remember in Willy Wonka, there's like six
Oompa Loompas. Yeah.
And I was afraid that was going to happen when I rewatched Wizard of Oz. I wonder if there's only like 20 Munchkins.
I can see that, yeah.
But there was actually quite a few.
A ton.
It wasn't my imagination.
They definitely mixed in little kids with
for sure.
Yeah, with little people.
Yes, for sure. And apparently there was quite a lot of debauchery going on.
Yeah, so I wrote this down, Christina.
And one of the things that I did hear, and you can, won't you say what you have first, because
So I wrote down, Judy Garland, so she was harassed by the Munchkins. They were, I guess, sexually harassed by
Oh my God.
by a lot of the Munchkins, allegedly. But let's see. I guess that was kind of the only note about the Munchkins. I mean, no, I'm sorry, but no, that's
Wow.
important.
That was
No,
quite
I have
a
a lot of, but I have a lot of other
quite a setup.
trivia.
Well, so as far as the Munchkins, from what I understand is there was a lot of drinking on set. Most of them were pretty drunk during all of the filming and things like that. And I had seen a little bit of an interview from one of them who basically said, yeah, it's basically true. We were all drinking. But the reason was because it was really the first time many of us had seen another little person. And it was like one of those things where it was like they just couldn't believe, and they were so happy, and they were celebrating all the time, and really having that connection and the community and all that. So that was as far as the drinking. So I'm assuming the drinking probably led to some of that bad behavior.
That's very nice.
Yeah.
Not the bad behavior.
Until one of them hung himself.
Oh my God. Jesus. So budget for Wizard of Oz, $2.8 million. The box office, $29.7 million, which 1939.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I mean, it's the fact that it did 10 times its budget is really saying something.
Sure.
Oscars, it was nominated for Best Picture, Best Art Direction, Best Score, Best Song, Best Special Effects, and Judy Garland. So it won for score and song, and then Judy Garland was given an honorary Oscar for Best Juvenile. Like a juvenile performance, yeah.
Margaret Hamilton didn't get any nominations? I'm surprised about that.
None of the performances got nominated, other than, and then Judy isn't really a nomination. It was
I wonder
an Oscar.
what they were up against.
Gone with the Wind.
Well, there you go.
So, Judy Garland was put on a strict diet to, quote, lose her curves, to look more like a child than a woman.
So because, when I go on a diet, my boobs go away. That's insane.
Her diet consisted of chicken soup, black coffee, and cigarettes.
Oh my God.
She
Didn't they give her
encouraged,
pills too?
Yep, I'm going to get to that.
I'm sorry.
She was encouraged to smoke cigarettes to suppress her appetite.
Oh my God.
Judy Garland and her co-stars were given pep pills to stay awake and drugs at night to force them down off the pills so they could sleep for short periods of time.
Really? I mean, you wonder where these child labor laws come from. I think it was the Wizard of Oz.
Yeah. So the studio lights were kept so bright to capture as much color as they could, and they were so hot and bright that crew members would often faint and become violently sick.
Wow.
Yeah. Judy's own mother, Ethel Gum, was allegedly the first person to put Garland on amphetamines to lose weight for the role. She also had her breasts strapped to make her look flatter, to look more girl-like.
That's just so sad, right?
The fact that she could sing and dance and act and do all these things while hyped up on drugs, cigarettes, black coffee, pills, while her breasts are strapped down at the age of 16 is
quite
something. I mean, it's very sad.
And she was good. I thought she was a good actress.
I didn't want to keep repeating myself. A few times I just wrote, she's so amazing in this.
Yeah.
And it's really interesting because she's such a strong, I mean, we talk a bit about like movies with a strong female lead. I mean, Dorothy, that character, that performance is so strong. Like, she doesn't really, I mean, she gets locked in the room, but like up until that point where she's like just outnumbered, she's a really strong character.
Yeah.
So more, less, about the same.
Oh, it's tough. I mean, I don't know. I'm going to just say about the same.
Yeah.
It's got to be about the same because it's just so nice to revisit. And I appreciated so much more of the performances, but then there's a lot of, the storylines and holes and things like that. So there's a little bit of negatives that came up, but so it has to be the same. I can't give it a less.
Yeah.
What about you?
I think a little bit more just for the acting.
Yeah.
I think the acting is so strong across the board. And the Wicked Witch of the West is such a terrifying performance.
Mm-hmm.
Judy Garland is even better than I remembered. I hadn't seen this movie in a really long time. But I understand, like, I mean, this house killed her sister, and, like, you know, you don't expect her to be nice to you.
Right.
You know, so, yeah. And I have a match game.
And I have an FMK.
Okay, do you want to go first?
Mentioned. I will go first.
Right.
So it is exactly what you think it's going to be. It's
All
going
right.
to be Scarecrow, Tin Man, and the Cowardly Lion.
This is tough, actually.
It is a little bit tough, but I think I know what you're going to choose.
Oh my god, I think I have it.
Okay. All right, let's hear it.
All right, I'm going to F the Scarecrow. I'm
Wow.
going to marry the Tin Man, and I'm going to kill the lion.
So I got the marry right.
Okay.
I almost said you were going to marry the Scarecrow, but then I'm like, I don't know. He might find him annoying after a while. But I know how you like, you know, the big, strong
but the Tin
man with a
Man,
heart.
yeah.
Like, he's
Right.
not to love about him,
Yeah.
right? So I got the marry right, but I thought you were going to
F the lion.
after all of your gay talk.
Well, I mean, he still seems pretty wimpy.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, and he cries so easily.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. You're right.
What would you say?
I think I would marry the Scarecrow.
Okay.
And I would, well, I mean, it's hard to say if you're going to F a Tin Man. Like, does he have a
Right.
penis?
Or if he does, it's probably going to hurt.
But it might be
Metal,
hurt.
Christina.
It might hurt in a good way.
Metal! It's metal! It's
I'm
tin.
going to, all right, assuming he has a human penis.
Oh, God.
I'm gonna-
That's not a
I'll
good
F-
visual.
I'll F the Tin
It's
Man.
not a good visual.
Underneath all that.
Ugh.
That's true. He is very, well, he can still do stuff to me. He has that,
Well, he's
that
he,
nose.
and he always has lubricant with him.
Oh my God, you're right. Yes, definitely an F the Tin Man, 1,000%. And yeah, I
Oh
would
my
absolutely
God.
kill the lion.
Oh
Sorry.
my God.
I don't think that's a big surprise.
Oh my God, that's so funny. So, okay, match game. Well, Dorothy and Toto ran into someone else on the yellow brick road.
Oh my gosh.
Winnie the Pooh.
Oh.
And he wanted to go to the wizard and ask for blank.
The
Damn, I feel bad. Maybe
Why
it's
do you feel
one
bad?
of those easy ones that they, you know.
Yeah, it's like the B question.
Exactly, Christina. All right. Winnie the Pooh went to the Wizard of Oz to ask for blank.
He asked for honey.
No!
What?
Pants! Oh my God, Christina!
You messed up on the easy B question.
Christina!
All he ever wants is honey.
Well,
His whole life, that's all he's looking for. Every single story, all he's looking for is honey. That's it. He doesn't want anything else in his life but honey.
I thought pants.
No,
I thought
he needs
pants.
pants for sure, but he doesn't
Oh,
want pants.
my
He
God.
clearly. Oh my gosh,
That
that's
is so damn funny. I
funny.
thought for sure we matched.
I did
was so
too.
confident.
Like so easy.
Oh my gosh. Well, that was The Wizard of Oz. And, right, happy Thanksgiving. Happy holiday season.
Yes, happy Thanksgiving, everybody. And that's it for this episode of Old Roommates. Thank you for listening. For bonus content, please visit us at patreon.com/oldroommates.
And follow us on social media, Instagram, Facebook, @OldRoommates. Thanks for listening. Until next time.